YouTube, how are you this morning? We are pretty good. It is about 6:30 in the morning on Monday, Central Time, and we are in Vonore, Tennessee at Havco Wood Products. We got here right at 6 o'clock and checked in, got our load counted, got all the straps off, put away, and it took us about 15 minutes. And now we're just waiting for them to take it off. Not sure what they're doing. They know we're here. We've already got our bills and they've been signed, so I guess we could drive real fast and just knock the stuff off. I don't know. We got up at 5 this morning and got fuel at 5:30, took off from the pilot there in Knoxville and headed down here. And it was a really good morning drive, not too bad. Corbin seemed a bit groggy this morning. I'm not sure what the deal was, but he's all right now. For the weekend, as you saw that in the previous snippet, the drive out from AWP was not too bad. Kind of a tight little road for about 20-25 miles. Actually, it was just right at 25 miles before we got to US 19, which was a much better road. The road we had driven on previously the day before, US 82, was much tighter and a lot. I can't really say scarier, but it was a fun drive being empty. I didn't mention it on Friday, but we actually had to stop for a black bear crossing the road, a little cub. It's kind of cool. I don't think Corbin said he'd never seen a bear before, and it was a skinny little thing, looked like one of the ones you'd buy at Build-A-Bear or something. But the drive down on Saturday morning was not too bad. We had that short road. Then we came down 19 and then 77 and 81 to get to 40 to come down to Knoxville. It wasn't a bad drive. I drove part of the way, and then Corbin took over the last 2 hours or so. And when we got in, we drove around the parking lot looking for a place for him to back, and he backed in, did a really good job on that. And so we parked. Instead of we were going to come over here last night, but we didn't have enough time between when our reset was ready and this morning to be able to do that, so I opted just to stick around there. Didn't do much this weekend. Corwin spent most of the weekend in the driver's lounge watching football, and I spent most of the weekend playing on my PlayStation. On Saturday night, I went to Outback Steakhouse for dinner, and then I went to the Chinese buffet for lunch, and I went for Taco Bell last night because I was running out of money. As that particular pilot there on Strawberry Pike there in Knoxville is really nice. A bunch of good hotels around, and there's a lot of restaurants and a lot of places to eat. There's probably 10 restaurants within walking distance, because I know it's less than half of a mile for me to walk to the Outback Steakhouse. I did not put Corwin in a hotel. Apparently, the Tennessee Volunteers were playing a home game on Saturday at 3 o'clock, and every hotel in town was booked. And I don't. When I was watching the game while I was eating at Outback, they were getting slaughtered by Florida. I'm not really sure what happened after that, because I left about halftime and they were losing. So that's it. We're not sure what we're doing. We'll have to figure it out. We're gonna leave here as soon as they get it off and head down to a little parking area down at the end of the road and wait and find out. So we will let you know. See you later. Good afternoon, YouTube. How are you this afternoon? Excuse the curtain, the light is blinding the camera. How are you this afternoon? We are pretty good. We are in Portland, Tennessee. It's about 12:20 in the afternoon, Central Time. And we're picking up a single out of the side, about a 47,000 pound coil. And we're taking that to Livonia, Georgia, due tomorrow at 11 o'clock exactly. We're not the only Maverick here. There's another one behind us who's got another coil, and he's got to be there at 12. We sat around at the receiver this morning for about an hour. We finally got a message, and then I let Corwin do all the trip planning. I built the trip plan. Didn't take me near as long as him, but let him do his trip plan, and it was about that close to mine. Made a little change, and then he matched what I had, and all 3 GPSs have. Yes, I have 3 GPSs in the truck. So once that was done, look at that. This guy is pushing his ratchet binder with his foot. Can we say we never do that? He is gonna hurt himself. Okay, what was I saying? We sat around for about an hour, and then we got the load plan. He did the trip plan and everything, and then drove us up here. Just as we got here, it pulled up, it started to rain. So we pulled inside, got the cradle built, got all changed, everything's all laid out and ready to go. So we will get this loaded and hopefully be able to tarp inside, because we got some serious storms in it. I'm gonna drive for a little bit and get us down the road. We got about 6 hours left on our 14. Hopefully we'll be in and out of here in the next hour or so, and then we'll get a little bit down the road. It's a little over 500 miles, and we got to be there about 11 tomorrow morning. So I think we should have no problem doing it, unless the weather prevents us from doing it. And so we will check back in with you later. See ya. Good evening, YouTube. How are you this evening? We are pretty good, all things considered. We are at the Loves in Jasper, Tennessee. Not as far as we wanted to get, but the best we could do. After we last talked, we sat there for about 2 hours. This place is not really all that bad. They're quick to load, but the problem is there's 4 trucks in the bay at a time, and they load in either bay 3, one of the bays, and then once you're done, you're supposed to just tarp real quick or get it secured and get it covered and get out the door and go park in a parking lot, unless it's actually raining, and then once you finish inside. Well, we were supposed to load in the 3rd bay, 1, 2, and 3, and a guy ahead of us loaded in 3. They actually loaded 1 coil in 2, and then moved up to 3 and loaded another one. Once that was done, they told him to chain up at least a little bit and then move up into bay 4 so we could be loaded, so we could load. He didn't do that. He sat there and chained up both of his shotgun coils and strapped and tarped. It took him an hour and 20 minutes, and they asked him 3 or 4 times to pull up, and he never did. My understanding is that after that, they told him in the future he would not be allowed to come back because he couldn't follow directions. He was like, I needed to finish. And he's like, well, you could have moved up to the 4th bay to finish so we could get this guy loaded, and he could get his stuff done so we could get out. Because there was another Maverick behind us, I think I mentioned that. He was also loading in bay 3. So we got up there. It took them maybe 20 minutes once we pulled into our bay, into the bay to get the coil on. They had to go find it. That place is a madhouse, coils everywhere. And then it took me and Corwin about 15 minutes to secure, because we had everything already ready and laid out and all that good jazz. And then we threw the canvas tarp on there, and then threw the 8-foot drop on there. It was just about 2 inches too tall for the 4-foot. And we got the 8-foot drop on there, and then bungeed it down, and then we pulled out and went out because it had stopped raining by then, and we went out and parked in a parking lot down on the end and finished tarping. The tarping took about 40 minutes, mostly because he's never tarped a coil before other than in training, and the 8-foot drop was not being very cooperative. Matter of fact, when we got here, we ended up pulling part of it off and redoing it because it was billowing too much. But we got on 65, headed towards Nashville. We were shooting for I think Duncan, Georgia, or something, D something, Georgia, where there's a pilot and a Flying J down there. And we should have been able to make it, but we got into Nashville and it was about 3:15, and traffic on 65-24 came to a screeching halt and crawled. We took us about an hour to go, I'd say 20 miles, and that really screwed us up. So we lost about 45 minutes of driving time, and we ended up having to stop here, and we got very, very lucky. I had been watching this place on Trucker Path to see how it was progressing, and then about 3 miles before we got here, I looked at it on the display that's mounted right there, and it went yellow, and then as we were coming off the exit, it went red, and sure enough, this place is packed. I was just about to resign myself to parking out on the street at the end of the dead end when somebody pulled out a tractor only. He didn't have a trailer. He was parked in this spot, and I lined up and pulled right into it. Almost perfect back. Only had to pull forward once, and that was so I could center the trailer in the space. So we're here. It's now 6:30. Corwin's already gone inside. He's gonna go take a shower. I don't have any shower credits here, so we're both having to pay for one. They have a McDonald's and a Subway here. Ooh, choices. I think I'm gonna opt for Subway. I haven't decided yet, but need to get something to eat, and then we're gonna hit the bed because we are gonna get up at 4:30 in the morning and get out of here. Because this place, of course, it's in Georgia, so it's on Eastern time. As soon as we cross from Tennessee into Georgia, it'll be Eastern time, and we have to be there at 11. That's 10 o'clock Central. We have 4 hours of drive, 4.5 hours of driving because of the mountains until we get into the flats in Georgia, and well, it's not really flat, but we have to go around Atlanta, so that's going to take time. But we're going to stop down the road and pilot and buy fuel. I was hoping to maybe wash the truck on the way down, but that's not going to happen. So, fun-filled day tomorrow. I talked to my fleet manager. I have to be home this weekend. I got a thing going on that I need to be home for. So he put in a special request to ensure that I don't get routed to like Pennsylvania or something from Georgia. They will get me something headed towards Texas. And I told them I wanted to. I didn't want to. I need to be in Friday night, and I can take a load as long as it delivers on Monday or delivers on Friday in Dallas. But I need to be home Friday evening so I can be home all day Saturday. So that's about it. Corwin did really, really good today. Thought he didn't drive down. He didn't do the second half of the driving today. I did. But his morning driving through the mountains was really, really good. And I had a good time driving down here. I have never, amazingly enough, never driven on I-24 through Tennessee. Just never have done it. And it's beautiful coming down here. And there's that one really good, I don't know what the name of the mountain, I think it's Lookout Mountain or something like that, where you got a 8% grade going up and 4 or 5 miles of 6 to 7% going down. Matter of fact, even when you come around, but before you hit the top of the hill, there's a pull-in inspection station where they check your brake temperatures using all kinds of sensors and stuff, and then let you go through if you're all good to head down the mountain. So that was all kind of cool. I've never been through this area before, so it's all new, amazingly enough. 10 years and I've never been on I-24, at least this part. So that's that's it. I'm gonna go inside and take a shower, get something to eat, and go to bed. And until we talk tomorrow, keep the shiny side up. 73s. Be safe.